Hey guys, this is Kimber Schaefer with Rage in the Cage, and we're here tonight at the Academy of Martial Arts in South Oklahoma City, and we're talking about Rage in the Cage 31 coming up on September 19th at Choctaw Creek Park. Of course, an exciting card. Right now, we've got Taylor Wilson here, who is Milk Sanchez's brother, and he is making his amateur debut fight on this card, and we couldn't be more excited. How do you feel about it?
Oh, I feel good. I'm ready to bring fireworks to Rage in the Cage. My brother does it all the time, and I'm here to show people that I can do it too. It just runs in the family.
So I'm quite sure you're trying to make a name for yourself. So how do you feel like you're going to separate from Milk and not kind of follow in his footsteps, so to speak?
Oh, there's nothing wrong with following in his footsteps at all because he's a great fighter, but he's a little guy, though. I'm a big guy, It's a totally different weight class. I use a lot of our training, what I do with him. I'm going to try to bring it into the cage, They think I'm a big guy, but I'm a little guy on my feet.
So in other ways, you were quick on your feet. And tell me a little bit about your training. I know you've been training for a couple of years. So tell me about, the scope of your training so far.
I've been training for about a good 2 years, maybe solid, off and on. I just had some setbacks with surgery and job-wise type things, but I started off at Solid MMA in Oklahoma City. Then I moved my camp over to Apex. It's in Tuttle, kind of Tri-City area. And the only reason why I went there is because my brother went there when I moved back to Chickasha. I kind of felt and made that home there with those guys, Coach Scott Landis, and those guys are JC Cottrell, which is about to fight on the Bellator. He's a great workout partner. Jeremy Spoon, who fought for you guys a lot. His brother Jared, Ryan, all those guys are really good guys there, helped me out a lot. Then now we're doing a lot of boxing in Anadarko at Wind River Boxing. Coach Drew Velasquez, he works us in really good. I'm going to show the world my hands and everything that I've been working on, so expect fireworks.
So, you've been training for at least 2 years. So, you've watched Milk's career take off, basically skyrocket.
Yeah.
Why now? Why did you decide to finally take your turn at MMA?
Well, I would have took off and fought about a year ago if I could have, but bills and jobs come first. This is just more of a hobby right now till I can make it my profession and what I want to do. This is what I want to do, and I'm taking slow steps to make it to that stage, to the professional level. I really want to start getting really good training. I do want to come up here to AMA with these guys like DeMario and Myron and Brian, and they're some of the best heavyweights around right now. So if I work with those guys, I know I can get my level and my skills to where it needs to be, where I can make my professional debut and then take off from there.
So as far as MMA, your ultimate goal is UFC, something like that?
Oh, definitely. Everybody wants to get to that big show, but even if it's UFC or it's Showtime Boxing, I want to do something where it's a big stage, but I really do. I just love the sport of MMA, and I love boxing. I've been watching a lot of boxing lately and a lot of MMA, just YouTubing random things and stuff like that. My brother does the same thing. We spend hours, we go over our data plan sometimes watching YouTube and stuff like that, but that's just, you get to see who's out there, what kind of competition and stuff like that, and it lets us know what we need to work on and stuff like that also.
Tell me a little bit about what made you and Milk both decide that you wanted to go into mixed martial arts. Were you both wrestlers in high school, or has this just always been a lifelong dream?
It was one of those things where we never wrestled, but in high school we're just real athletic. We played sports like everybody else, and just fighting in the street, we used to, especially him, he used to do a lot of street fighting, and he finally kind of found this sport, and it guided him into another man, I guess you can say. He's not really hot-tempered how he used to be. This sport actually has calmed us both down a lot, real hot-headed sometimes. But it's not something I ever thought I would do till I actually stepped into an MMA gym, and I just fell in love with it.
Well, we're so glad to have you in the field of MMA, and especially we are so honored that your debut fight will be here for Rage in the Cage. There's just a lot of good things going on for you and for Milk, and we're excited to be part of it. Thank you for fighting for us and allowing us to be part of that.
Definitely. I'm more than excited to debut for you guys. At first I was a little flustered because I thought I didn't have an opponent for the 19th and didn't think I was going to be able to, bring the fireworks to y'all's show. I thought I was going to have to wait till Lawton, but I'm honored to make my debut for you guys, and I really appreciate you guys for letting me do this.
Well, and for those of you watching right now, it's kind of breaking news for us. We just found out that we do, in fact, have a fighter. Your first fighter backed out of the card, or something happened where he was not able to fight.
I think it was
And
like work or something like that.
okay, and so now we do have another fighter. As of now, that fighter is going to be Chris Evans, who fought for Rage in the Cage last month. So I know you haven't had a chance to find out about him, but regardless of who you're fighting, do you have a game plan going in?
Yeah, I'm not gonna let the world know my game plan though. I don't know this. I don't know this guy. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm not worried about him because you got to respect every opponent you step in there with. But once that cage closes, dog eat dog. Who's gonna come out? And I'm coming out with my hand raised, and that's the end of it. That's the game plan. I'm coming out with my hand raised, and I'm gonna let everybody know what I can do.
Let's talk a little bit more about your training. As far as you, do you prefer or have a preference for jiu-jitsu versus stand-up? What do you feel like your strengths are?
My strengths, there definitely is going to be standing up more than is jiu-jitsu. I'm a big guy, There's no need for us big guys to wrestle around and stuff, That's why I kind of love boxing a lot because it's just your toe-to-toe. There's no, oh, you hit me too hard, so I'm going to pull you down now, you know what I mean? But like I said, I just love the sport, and you guys will see the 19th of what's going to happen, so just be ready.
Well, we are ready. Thank you so much for coming tonight to do this pre-fight interview so all of our fans and your fans get a chance to know a little bit more about you, about your career that you've had so far as your training in MMA and what they can expect ahead. Guys, be sure and come out to Rage in the Cage 31. It's at Choctaw Creek Park, September 19th, 2014. Fight started at 8 p.m. and this fight is going to be a fundraiser. We found out this a few days ago. We had an MMA fighter, Skylar Holman, who was also a former OSU wrestler that was diagnosed with a aggressive form of bone and lung cancer. And so $1 per ticket that each fighter sells will be donated to Skylar. And so we couldn't be more excited to be part of that and be able to help him out in that way. So thankful for Dustin South, who is also fighting this card, for asking us to do that. And we're so glad that Mike Crawford, our owner, was able to do that. So, well, thank you so much for this interview. And any last things you want to say, any thank yous or anything you want to head out with?
I want to thank a couple of my sponsors. Interurban in Chickasha, Oklahoma. I've been working for them since we opened up out there and got rolling. I want to say thank you to Josh Woods for helping me out with this fight. Also La Fiesta in Chickasha, Oklahoma. Also Johnny Torres, he's helped us, me and Milk. I mean, I can't even explain how much he's basically like family now. And I want to say thank you to him and his wife and all his workers. The Karaoke Lounge, it's a little bar down there where we go and have a good time sometimes every now and then. And that's really about it. And also East Style Transportations. Troy, I want to say thank you to you for everything you've done for me also. And MJK, our movement, the production, promotions. As you can see, our hats, we make hats, shirts, anything you want. We're getting little wristbands we put around your wrist. So add me or my brother on Facebook and we'll make sure we get you guys taken care of. I appreciate you guys. That's it.
All right. See you guys September 19th.